Greetings. It's RowanRavenwolf. Welcome to Thursday. Thursday is spiritual panel, and this is the second to the last week that I'm doing the planets. So next week will be Pluto. This week is Neptune. So I'm really excited. We're kind of wrapping this up, so we'll get to go into June. I'm not even sure how we're going to go into June yet, but next week I'll have an idea of what we'll talk about our first week of June. So welcome to those who are here for the first time. I am RowanRavenwolf. I am a practicing pagan and witch. Not all witches are pagans and not all pagans are witches. I happen to be both. So welcome to Spiritual Panel. I am live on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So welcome so much. So Neptune. So we're going to talk about Neptune and how we can use it in our spiritual practice, especially if you are a practicing witch or pagan. And also we're going to talk about the astrology portion, because that's also fun, and it helps you understand your chart. So if you've missed any of these lives that I've done on the planets, they are replaying on my Patreon and my YouTube. So you can join Patreon and YouTube if you want to follow up and get all the ins and outs. And it's kind of a high overview. It's not like a huge deep dive, but it is nice to at least have that. It is open panel. So if you have worked with Neptune magically, or you understand it astrologically, please feel free to request and I will let you jump up. And as always, welcome, Bren.
Hey, I kind of have a cold one because this is what Neptune's about. Get a little tipsy.
Yes, and I'm exhausted, so I might as well be tipsy. I was like, should I open a bottle of wine tonight? And then I'm like, oh, I'm going live. I better not. we don't all want to see that.
Well, but we'll just make sure nobody's looking and be like, what? It's grape juice.
Exactly, right? So I'm going to start with going over how we can use Neptune in magic, and then I'll let Bren start the astrological aspect, just because we kind of balance it out. And please feel free, ask questions. And again, if you've worked with Neptune and you want to come up on panel, please feel free to request and I'll let you up. So Neptune has got an energy, as all the planets do. This energy actually can help us so much, especially if you're into dream magic or if you want to enhance your intuition and if you want to enhance creativity. So Neptune actually governs the mystical realm. It inspires spiritual insight. It also helps us foster compassion. It also has a lot of symbolic associations. We can use it when we're meditating, when we're channeling, and for artistic expression. So the symbolism for Neptune and tends to intensify our intuition and our psychic abilities. It also can foster compassion. So if you feel like you don't have enough compassion or you want the people around you to have more compassion for you, you can actually call on Neptune to help you with that. It does encourage a deeper connection to the spiritual realm. So if you want to have that deep connection, Neptune's who you want to call on. And when we look at the creative aspect, it helps us channel art and music and writing and other outlets. So if you're feeling like you're not very creative, Neptune is the planet you want to call upon to help enhance your creative expression. All right, so I brought up meditation, and when you are meditating, you can actually tap into Neptune's subconscious to help you receive insights into your inner self. And you can do this by, like, personally, my favorite way to do this is to call on the planet. And for each planet, I actually have like a little call that I can do depending on what I'm doing. And then I like to use a lot of different crystals, and I'll usually make like a crystal around where I'm meditating. So I typically get in lotus position and I'll put crystals in a circle around me while I do the meditation. So we will get into the crystals too. If you have ever scryed, and I lit a candle and I've got blue for Neptune going, fire scrying is really cool. I have had people tell me though, it does bother their eyes. So, like if you're, epileptic, yeah, don't fire scry. Fire scrying is one thing you can do to call on Neptune to help. It's a form of divination, and Neptune can help you get insight that you're looking for. So what you would do is you would stare into the candle. A lot of people do water scrying. I do water scrying. So you want a bowl full of water and you would scry in it. Now, when you do this, make sure you have a bowl that doesn't have a pattern, because sometimes there's like really pretty bowls out there, but they might have a floral pattern or maybe like a motif or something in it. You want to make sure it's either clear or a solid color. So I typically will turn the lights down so it's very dim when I'm water scrying or fire scrying. Those are just two simple ways you can scry. There's a lot of other ways you can scry. And then dream journaling, and connecting with Neptune with your dreams, especially if you want prophetic dreams or lucid dreams. Calling on Neptune can help you do that. And the dream journaling is really important because that's where we get messages. And sometimes you may not understand the message that you're first sent. So it's good to write it down, because you might understand it in 2 days when you reread it, or maybe a week, or maybe a month. So, all right, I'm just going to talk about a couple of the correspondences. So some of the herbs, let's see. Actually, I'm going to start with colors. Colors that can be associated when we're working with witchcraft are blue, green, and different shades of purple and blue. Animals associated with Neptune are dolphins, whales, and other marine mammals. They're associated because Neptune kind of has that wateriness to it. And let me go to my herbs. Sorry, I thought I had them on the same page and I don't. All right, the blue lotus. If you've never had blue lotus tea, talk about getting drunk, Bren. It's not that it gives you that feeling of drunk, but it gives you like almost like you're like going to a different realm. So blue lotus is really, really great. It's a good one to help connect with Neptune. One of my favorites. Sorry, I'm trying to get water lilies is another one. And water lilies are, again, like, see, we've got like this water going here. So water lilies are really great to help you connect. And actually, like one that like seaweed or moss are really great to help work with Neptune. And they have that connection. And these are just a few. Like, there's a lot more herbs that you can use, but those are just a few that I'm going to touch on, because I know Bren will probably touch on some too. And so I'm going to touch on a few crystals, and hopefully I have some of them close by. Like, I didn't even think about it. I taught a class right before I jumped on here. And ironically, Bren, my class was on creating a fetch, and you have to actually be very creative and use Neptune's magic. So,
who now?
Creating a fetch.
Oh, yeah. You got to be creative with that one.
Yes, you do. You do, definitely. All right. So one of my favorite crystals, aquamarine, that is associated with Neptune, and blue kyanite. Oh, blue kyanite. I love working with kyanite. Lapis lazuli, one of my favorites, blue aventurine, blue opal, and actually blue quartz. So those are just a couple of the crystals. And actually you can use Oh, all of a sudden I'm blanking. I see it. Ugh. Okay, it'll come to me, and actually Bren will probably bring it up. So, because we're in tune, and right now I don't know why I'm just blanking. But that's just kind of how we can use it if you are a practicing pagan or witch. But keep in mind, like, Neptune has this beautiful energy that can help us grow spiritually, especially like when we want to connect with the divine. Neptune has that ability to help us connect. That's where our intuition comes into play. And it just really opens and frees our mind. So, Brent, anything you want to add on using it in our spiritual practice before I let you jump in and have fun with the astrological aspect?
Yes, in fact, I've got some other stones that can be used with the lovely Neptune. Whoop! Blue calcite.
Ooh, yes. And that also connects with intuition. And that's a beautiful blue calcite.
It's a honker. Angelite.
Yep.
Celestine.
Ooh, yep, that's another good one too.
We also have blue topaz. Literally, it feels like water, but it's not water. It's solid water, but it doesn't. And blue topaz is known to actually be really excelled in helping one to what's that called? It's like overly enhance one's creativity and imagination and be in a more flowing state to the point where like it kicks it up into the highest gear. Of course, also lapis. That's another one. Which one? I know I grabbed another one. Which one was? Oh, turquoise. Was there any other ones? I'm trying to think. Yeah, you can also even say possibly. Can try and pronounce it. I'm probably going to critically fail it. Stissenshite. It feels like a sponge, because it's a 1.5 to a 2. And some other stones
Sodalite.
Which one was that?
Sodalite too.
Oh, I was about to say that's kind of this like crud. I was about to say scosiolite or whatever. Tanzanite.
Oh yes, and tanzanite is so. I actually, yes, actually a newer stone. And when I say newer, it literally is a newer stone. It's maybe 2 years old now.
Is it called violane?
No, it's called glacierite.
Oh.
So
I literally just fell backwards. That is potent.
This is so cool. Glacierite actually it's one of the Polynesian islands, and I cannot believe I'm forgetting which Polynesian island.
Samoan, Hawaiian.
Okay, you know what? Hang on. Let me pull it up.
Because I just saw the stone and I'm just all, oh crash! I forgot how to breathe for a second.
Yeah, that was when I first saw this little guy. That was exactly me. So it's newly discovered in Indonesia. So it doesn't say this specific. So basically what happened is they were processing gold. And they were getting the gold out of the stone in Indonesia. And as they did that, in the smelting process, what was left over was this. So this is, and it's the only place in the world that the smelting process does this, because when we get gold and it's found in certain things, they have to get the gold out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so this is where it is. So I don't know how much we'll have, but yes, it is absolutely beautiful. Like, I think I have one for sale in my shop. I think. Mm-hmm. Either I didn't get the picture and get it listed, but I do have one for sale. So if anybody is interested and it's not on my website, you can just message me, because that means I just didn't get a picture of it.
Nobody touch it. Nobody touch it.
Yes, like I have 3 now, and in my personal collection, and I mean it's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. They really are. But yes, that is definitely Neptune energy.
Another one can be aqua aura quartz, of course, aquamarine. Blue aventurine is another. Violane is also another one, Violane. That one's also a newer stone. What else we got in here? Blue aragonite can be another one. Let's see. Okay, we're going to be going into that. Yeah, you could. Not really that one. I'm just digging through my big encyclopedia of things in my head to figure out which ones would be more fitting. Crud. I already said tanzanite. Tanza or quartz can be another one. I guess you could say demortarite can be one. Merlinite. Yeah, merlinite. Trying to really think here. Blue jade. Lemurian calcite. That's one.
Ooh, yes.
Larimar.
Larimar was the one I was like blanking on. I'm like, I know it's sitting on my nightstand. I'm like, it's my favorite blue stone. And I couldn't think of it.
Hyalite is another. Yeah, you could say Herker diamond too. I'm gonna butcher this one. I'm gonna try it. Hemimorphite. I think that's what it's called. It kind of looks like a green, like little green eggs on a stone. Gem silica, I think. Yeah, that'd be another one. Crap. Shoot. Already said sodalite. Scapulite. You could even. We can get away with blue tourmaline too. I already said blue topaz.
Oh yeah, we could get away with that.
Anyway, I'm not going to drive myself more mad. Well, wait. Yeah.
Sapphire, we did forget sapphire.
Yeah, I was also going to say white sapphire for that one.
And labradorite.
Oh yeah, labradorite. So those are some of the extra stones. Plant-wise, well, the good way to think of anything Neptune-related is if it grows within water, if it's a water plant, because being heavily aquatic, well, that's a given. Especially the blue lotus, and any kind of crap. I lost it. Any kind of species of lotus. Clary sage. Mainly milk thistle is another one. Lilac.
That would actually up.
Crud. I'm looking at it. It's a white flower. Crap. What are you? Jasmine? No, wait. No, you're not jasmine, but jasmine's another one. Crap. Nope, you're not leaving my head until you. What are you? Gardenia.
Oh, okay, gardenia. Okay.
And I can't really think of any other ones, but yeah, Neptune, in the astrological sense, is essentially, as before last week we were talking about Uranus being like the court jester, and Neptune. Think of Neptune as, well, now this can go one of two ways. You can think of Neptune as the court sorcerer or the sorceress. And the way that she interacts with you, or he, is that he wants you to just let go, feel in the other realm. Find ways to get to the other realm. But how do you get to another realm? I'm trying to be realistic and practical. Well, you have something, you intake something, and your perspective will change from it. So essentially, that can be done by, of course, you're dying. I'm thirsty. Water. Now you're intoxicated by water. Just like that. So intaking something, but hold on, pump the brakes. Use your head. Don't be thinking you could just take anything, and don't you dare take Datura and put it down your mouth. No. But intaking something outside of you, the exterior, and then bringing it within, and then having your perspective change. Neptune has that dominion of it. And of course, Neptune can also be used for creative enhancement, imagination enhancement, meditative enhancement, as well as connecting to the purest water. But hold on. Neptune as well, being also on the more uncomfortable side, well, think of Neptune as also not only the court sorceress, but as also the great deceiver, the one that makes you believe something and then gets the rug pulled out from underneath you. And so, in that regard, Neptune does also have that not so good side of course, deception, misdirection, illusion, deception, seduction, mental woozy-wooness, and misrepresentation, and also the mind blurring or blinding the mind, and not being able to connect with the tangible. So Neptune does have that risk. So, and also I kind of feel like feeling an urge to also just play the sound of Neptune, because the sound of Neptune sounds, well, I'll just let that do its thing. In a way, it sounds like a mixture of Moon, Saturn, and a little bit of Jupiter. Because it has, well, you have the Moon, which is in the natural water, you have Jupiter, the expand, and then Saturn, the contract. So it's that water that's in that perfect flow state. It sounds like a nice angelic flow to it. But as Neptune is associated with the oceans, Neptune is also associated with the mythological beings, primarily the sirens and the enchantresses, or the enchanter, or of course the witch, the sorcerer, the occultist, and also the oracle. On a more negative side, you can even also say the I don't know if you would consider that something, but like also the one who infiltrates dreams and is able to lull. And associated deities, well, you can say, of course, Neptune, obviously, which is also Poseidon. I know. Aphrodite, which is Poseidon's spouse. You would also consider for Neptune, Sobek would be one. You could even also say, I already said, I know, there's an Aphrodite. You could say, God, what is your name? I'm looking right at you. Abo, if you work with the Chinese mythology or the pantheon, that could be one. Charybdis. But now, if you're going to work with Charybdis, yeah, a giant whirlpool. Well, I mean, if you need to bind someone and have them go around, around, and around. Oh, and also the monster Scylla. You can even want to go in that direction. To each their own, but the option's there. Oh, and the Kraken. Just careful with the giant squid. And also, from the Vedic tradition, you would also see Neptune be associated with Varuna Dev, which is the deva of the cosmic ocean, or the sky, the night sky. And he is the one that is also known as the chief of security. And he has eyes everywhere. I know that kind of makes it feel like, so he's always watching me? Yeah, that's Neptune, all the way in the back, like, oh, I saw what you did over there, I'll just keep that in mind. But Varuna is originally an Asura. And he originally was the original ruler of the sky. Until, what's his name? Indra took the throne from him and casted him down into the oceans of the earth. So he does have the dominion over the ocean of the sky, and then also the ocean, and then also the deep ocean. And he's also best friends with Mitra, who is the deva of cosmic friendship, which, by the way, is in Scorpio. The heart of Scorpio, that's Mitra. So You can see Neptune be associated with the signs of course, obviously Pisces, because that's his sign of ownership. But with Neptune, we're going to be going around the zodiac belt with Neptune. Well, Neptune in the sign of Aries, well, I like to think of it as you're taking the court sorceress, and now you're making them get ready to train for the Olympics. Oh, I say, wait a minute, what do you mean I gotta throw my staff? Just throw it. You're doing a javelin toss. But, this is not meant for throwing. It's my Nimbus 2000. Just throw it. You didn't even throw it a foot. I don't know. So, Neptune, Neptune isn't really wanting to be in the physical domain of Aries. Taurus. Oh, well, I could stare into this beautiful gem forever. With Neptune in Taurus, the energy goes through a process of the senses being easily influenced, and one can be easily stimulated with the external input. So, example, one may be able to express music or do anything artistic in a way where it's able to, their creativity can allure someone and captivate someone. Neptune in Gemini. Well, now you're taking the court sorceress who needs to be really in the zone and just go with the flow, but now you're giving it the chatterbox, the one that's going. So Neptune is, that energy can get you into a state where your imagination and your creativity may be somewhat all over the place. And if somebody is in working in the news or doing journaling or reporting, they got to be really careful because they might be communicating or speaking about things that can put a lot of people in Delulu land. Now, Neptune in Cancer. Well, okay, Neptune. Okay, we're in the riverbed, but Neptune with Cancer, the mother figure will be somebody who is spiritually excelled, and this individual will be able to provide the nourishment and caretake by means of a more spiritual foundation, and one's able to nurture by spiritual means very effectively. Neptune and Leo. You're taking the court sorcerer, the sorceress, now you're putting him on the throne. Oh, I say, this is a lovely chair, but why do I need to be on this chair? I mean, I get it. Oh, hi, everybody, but I'd rather just be in my tower away from people. So this individual can be very excelled in playwright, and the way they like to exert or express their deepest spiritual persona is by playwright. Their creativity for acting and writing plays and writing books can be exceptional. Oh, Neptune and Virgo. Now you're taking the core sorceress, and now you're making them happy to be absolutely being a complete perfectionist, and Neptune doesn't like it. Because now Neptune, instead of just going with the flow, it's like, I cannot add this much of Damiana into this mix, and I cannot add that much Belladonna into it either. I need to add just one little snip. Oh, dang it, I just put the whole leaf in there, and I gotta start all over again. So this individual's way of perfecting things and also clearing out anything that is not providing support, or if anything that's trying to taint a collective or taint something, this individual prefers to go about things in a more spiritual way. So you can see somebody with an ability to do exorcisms, possibly with Neptune and Virgo, can be at foot. And also may be drawn to individuals they may draw people who are spiritually afflicted, having spiritual attachments they need to get rid of, but at the same time, they have to be very careful about how much water they intake. If they don't take enough, it can afflict their health. Neptune in Libra. So now you're taking the higher octave of Venus, which is Neptune, and now you're bringing it down to Venus's level. So in a way, it's like, what do you mean I have to barter this experience? I'm experiencing it. It's my creativity, not yours. No, you can't have my drink. So Neptune and Libra, they may be really sucked in and prefer to only be pursuing their dream lover, which I hate to tell anybody with that placement. It doesn't exist, it's only in your head. Anyway, Neptune and Scorpio. Now you're taking the star ocean water, and now you're putting it in the moat. Or you're putting it on ice. So now one's creativity can be a bit dark, and this individual may have challenges potentially with addiction, possibly. Doesn't mean everybody will, but it does have a risk. Neptune and Sagittarius. Well, this individual is able to take their higher intelligence and merge it with their spiritual practice. And this is also a beautiful placement for somebody to help use the aspect of the organized religion, and then also try their best to organize a belief system that aligns with a spiritual focus intact. But at the same time, you got to be very careful not to become dogmatic with it. Oh boy. Neptune in Capricorn. I think Neptune's a bit pissed off here. Because now you're telling Neptune, the court sorceress, to be realistic, practical, and have some self-control. What do you mean I can't drink this whole potion? Just a drip? It ain't gonna do nothing. I wasn't drinking, officer, I swear, I promise. I didn't have a cold one. No, I didn't. I have self-control. Drinks flask. So this individual, and besides I have it, this individual's way of using their spiritual practice or their spiritual pursuits is that they're trying to be a figure or an example for others to look up to. And this individual may be involved in a line of work that involves repetitive and consistent effort to be put into it, but the efforts they put into their spiritual practice, the rewards they'll gain will be phenomenal. Ooh, now Neptune and Aquarius. Now this one's a bit of a bamboozle, because with Pisces, the higher state of Pisces is actually Aquarius. So when you're taking Neptune and you're moving it back into Aquarius, now you're giving the ruler of spirituality now the intelligence to deal with it. So Neptune is in a more logical state in how to actually merge with the spiritual side. So in that regard, one is able to be innovative with how they inspire and they output their spiritual practices to the world, or also help individuals find their own unique way of practicing their spiritual practice. Then Neptune and Pisces, this is where it's most comfortable in its owns. So this, you can see people being very excelled in understanding other individuals. You can see people some kind of practice that involves being in isolation. Water meditation would be very excelled for them. Taking saltwater baths would be absolutely a beautiful thing to do with Neptune and Pisces. But then lastly, all the planets and with Neptune. Now, how does Neptune feel about the planets? The sun. Hi, I don't care, King. I don't care. Moon, friendly. Oh, hi, Moon. So how's the little river baby got there? Would you like a sip of wine? Mercury. And Neptune doesn't really have a care for Mercury because logic, spirituality. It just don't click. Neptune and Venus. Now, Neptune sees Venus and is friendly, while the other way around, Venus sees Neptune and is rather, okay, why are you not having control of yourself? Just have a cold one, pretty lady. No, thank you. Neptune and Mars. Nope. Spirituality and then the most violent planet. Not so much. Neptune and Jupiter. Now this is a twist. It's a friendly combination to have. Because you have the guru, the spiritual guru, now with the planet that's all about spirituality. So they both work well together. Neptune and Saturn. Absolutely not. Most definitely not. Because you have the drinker and then you have Saturn. Why the heck are you having another cold one? That's the 20th one. Don't you have control, you stupid drunk? Why you gotta be so serious, you hipster? I'll get you back for that one, you stupid drunk. Neptune and Uranus. They're actually friendly with one another because both of them do represent a side of unpredictability, chaos, and sudden sudden infiltrations can come from it. Pluto, no, because Pluto is the one that is the great upheaval, the one that causes the surprise, oh snap moment, and causes everything to go into disarray. And I'm landing my plane after all that because my throat's like.
I know it's when we talk a lot that does happen. And I know, like, I taught a class before this tonight, so I was like, oh my gosh, like maybe I shouldn't teach classes on Thursdays when I go live.
But I think we got it all in there.
We did get it all. So yes, so those just joining, thank you for joining. Thank you those that have given hearts tonight, and to anybody who's given gifts, really highly appreciated. As always, we do appreciate that. We are literally talking about it. It's the 10-week series on the planets. And so we're talking about Neptune, and Neptune is just a really fun planet to work with. So I'm just going to I'm going to talk for a little bit and then I'll ask you a question, Bren. So drink up. So
crack open a cold one.
Yep. I have my cold one here. But so for me personally, I love actually using Neptune with when I'm meditating, especially like I have used it a lot when I get those creative bumps. I like to literally make I either do like a little spell bag where I'll take, here we go, where I'll take like a little drawstring bag and I'll grab crystals and herbs associated with Neptune, and I will draw a petition to Neptune asking Neptune to help enhance my creativity. Because I noticed, and I don't know, like I'll let Bren kind of touch a little bit too if he wants to, but I notice like the older I get, sometimes I feel like I lose my creativity and I lose my childlike self. And so a lot of times I have to do like a little bag and refresh it, and I'll switch out crystals. I'll put different crystals in when I need something different. And especially like, even tea. I love drinking my Blue Lotus tea and then meditating. And that actually can help enhance. Like when I do that, I typically will take crystals associated with Neptune, and I'll do, sorry, I'm just trying to see. So, okay. I'm just grabbing random. I've got lapis, and so I will, a circle around where I'm going to sit in lotus position, and I'll put a double tourmalated quartz, and then I'll put like a lapis lazuli or larimar, or I'll put a crystal associated with Neptune. And it doesn't mean the whole circle is going, like my whole circle, I have so many double tourmalated quartz, doesn't matter. But I may only have a couple small pieces of lapis, so I may have like lapis and sodalite and blue quartz in there with it, because I like to have the quartz. Our clear quartz amplifies, and when you are making yourself the center, it helps enhance that. Also, if you draw the glyph, like when I'm outside meditating, I typically draw a glyph on the ground so that I'm bringing the planet and enhancing the energy of the planet. So you do need to know your glyphs. And if you don't know, they're like easy to find online. I know when you take any classes from me, like the planetary magic class, I give you all the glyphs. And I'm sure like, yeah, they're easy, super, super easy to get the glyphs. And if you don't know, please message me. I'll send you a picture. And they are on your birth chart. So if you have your birth chart, which, I did forget, if you do need your birth chart so you understand where you are in, where Neptune is in your birth chart, Astro Cafe, astrology.com, or you can use Time Passages, and Bren will probably give some too. But I really like to use Neptune with meditation, and most especially like when have that creative or like that imaginary bump. Like, and sometimes I'm like, I was so creative as a kid, but we grow out of it as we become adults. It's like, why do we lose that? We need to run around barefoot and play with toys sometimes. So it's okay if you have like toys around.
And I just remembered too, this just popped in my head. I'm going to try my best not to forget it. There is also a, the planetary day for Neptune is for Monday. Because Monday, related to the moon, is the closest to water. You could even also say Venus too, a Friday. That could be another one. But primarily Monday is the major one.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because we've been really good about like saying which planets. And I know like the last 3 planets are not specifically with a specific day.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's if you got to use input vision.
Yes. For those just joining, next week we are doing Pluto. It will be the end of our 10-week series on the planets.
Yeah, Pluto. Or better known as the little shithead. But anyway. And I mean, truthfully, he's like that, like I said before, that the younger sibling that just is like attached to your ankle. It's like, oh, big brother, big sister's so cool. I want to hang out with them. That causes havoc.
Yeah.
Because they don't know better. And Neptune is also the deepest connected to the inner child. The most I don't know what I was going to say, most unfaltered, the most unfiltered, the energy with the absolute least amount of resistance, like the ocean flow, the tsunami flow. Yeah.
So, Bren, do you want to like maybe talk about how you work with it in your spiritual practice?
Well, I have a good idea. And actually, anybody should consider this too. Making bath teas. Bath teas? Yeah, you get a muslin bag, and then you put in your herbs and resins, and then you just tie it up, make sure it's nice and tight, and then you just plop that in the bath water. You can use a muslin bag, or you can even also use a coffee filter. Get your coffee filter, plop it, then add some blue lotus leaf to that, add some corn flour, add some lavender, any other herb that is able to help chill, relax, and just ease the mind. Chamomile. Chamomile's another one. Yeesh.
Lavender.
Yeah, lavender.
There we go. See, as we go on, we will think of more crystals and more herbs. So take your notes.
And another thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be using like a bath tea bag, and if you're going to be doing like a bath spell to like really become one with the water, make sure that whatever you're putting in the bath tea bag is not going to be toxic or any kind of nasty on the skin. And no, do not put peppermint in the bath water. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. Same with spearmint. I learned that the hard way. And don't you dare even think about putting wintergreen either. Tempting? Yes. Should you? Don't.
What happened? Because I do peppermint all the time.
Oh, well, let's just say parts of the body got a little extra too tingly. But then again, I'm very sensitive skinned.
Okay. Yeah, because you do get very tingly from, especially like when I'm prone to like sinus infections. And so I make shower steamers. But if my head is just not where I feel like I can stand, I will put eucalyptus and peppermint in a hot bath and soak in it. And yeah, you do get like a really weird tingly sensation. So yeah, if you can't handle that tingly sensation, then yeah, it would be really.
Yeah, it's like being tickled by, fingertips made of icicles. But to each their own. Coconut. Coconut would be another one. But then when you're finished with the bath water, now this is usually done in I believe it's more of a hoodoo tradition. What you do is you save a little bit of the bath water after you're finished with your spiritual bath or whatnot. You go to a crossroads, you open your container, and you just throw it over your shoulder, and then you just walk back home. You just go back home. You don't turn around, don't go back. Because you're taking that remainder of that energy and going meh with it. over the shoulder. And you can also do what is called a floor wash. It's essentially you're cleansing or you're imbuing your home or the surfaces where you're doing the wash on. You're embedding the intention onto the floor. So whenever you take a step, whenever you're walking in, or if anybody walks in, they're being imbued with that energy. And Pisces is associated with the feet, the toesies. That is the original 12 helps. So when you're walking within the home and your feet are coming into contact with the floor that's just been washed with that mixture, it's going right into the soles of your feet, which, by the way, is one of the most, I don't want to say sensitive, but it can be. It intakes the most energetic vibrations through the feet, and it goes up. Yeah. Let's see, is there any other ones that I can think of? Well, you could consider, like, instead of like using incense, that would be more like smokeless incense, which would be like a water bottle with an essential oil mixture. That's another one you can use. But again, just be careful you don't get things wet that aren't supposed to get wet, like tarot decks or certain crystals. Yeah, don't get them wet.
Yes, that is not good. I had a friend, actually. This is like, she was on the floor doing a reading, just for herself, and then she got up to go do something and came back, and her cat was going to the bathroom on her tarot cards.
Oh no!
And she was like, my cat always goes in a litter box. And she's like, the one time the cat doesn't do it went on my tarot cards. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because, like, I mean, at least if you spill water, you can clean it up and you'd reuse it again. But I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'd use them after that.
Well, I mean, if we're going to be technical, she could have said, well, it depends on what cards got the hit of it too. Because that would have been like, well, I mean, if you ever need to, tie that to somebody who needs a bit of some,
That's true. That's true. Because I've actually, like, my husband has shook his head at me because we have possums and raccoons in our backyard, and I picked up their droppings to put in spells before, and he's like, "Why are you doing that?" And I'm like, "Oh, this person, they've got it."
It's part of the profession, okay?
It's like, they got it coming. So, it was left for a reason. Yeah, I think she threw the cards away, to be honest, because we were meeting to do a tarot roundtable, and we're like, where are your cards? She's like, oh,
my cat went.
We're like, yeah, I probably, and she only had one deck. So, I mean, like, if it happened to me, I don't happen to have a cat, but if it had happened to me, I'd be like, well, I have other decks, but...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, I would think the same way, unless if, the cat decided to go on my Ludi Lescott tarot. That deck's out of print, I would be like, damn it, Reginald, you had one job not to go there, and you had it.
Yeah. And it's odd because, like, cats don't like to do that either. So we're like, oh, something was up because you're
Woman, like, you drew the devil. I do not approve.
Yeah. So, always entertaining here. You never know what you're going to get. We are talking about Neptune in our spiritual practice and astrology. We've kind of gone over the basics. We were like super fast tonight, weren't we, Bren?
Yeah, I mean, Neptune is that flowing water, the unstoppable tsunami. It's like, oh, that's a giant wave about to squish me. Okay.
Well, and it's funny because, like, every week when we've had the planet, there's been something like going on. And like this week, it's been raining here where I'm at, like, all week. So it's like, yeah, it's Neptune week. So I'll see what Mother Nature brings to me next week with Pluto.
And at least for me, what's interesting is that here, let me change my background to show it. I've also began writing my book on Nyx.
Ooh, how wonderful. Yay.
Yep, and I mean, it's good to have an AI assistant be able to just kind of, I'm mainly using it to just take everything that I'm saying and just structuring it. So it's kind of like being my
Oh, like
transcriber.
the editor.
But, yeah, yeah. I haven't had him edit yet, but like my transcriber and just taking everything that I'm saying and then just organizing it and putting it in book format.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's as far as it's going. It ain't gonna be anything like, okay, write the whole book for me.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
none of that BS.
Well, and that's where like the plagiarism comes into play because AI can do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even before AI really got into his whole thing or whatever, I even remember there being an incident about like a few books on Amazon. They were actually taking from another author's work, and they just took the whole book
Hmm.
and they just changed the cover and then they sold it that way. Whoops.
A lot of that has been happening. And then like Timu, so it was called Wish before. Well, I think they are the same company, but
They
that's
rebranded
just
so that way they wouldn't be in legal oopsie oops.
yeah. So I have a friend who does like those cool color books. She does them for Broadway musicals, and they were plagiarizing her on Wish and on Amazon, and now Timu's doing the same thing, and that's hitting a lot of people. So,
Oopsie.
yeah, and it's just it's sad because then people don't get the credit for what they've done, or even um, I can't remember who it was. One of the somebody in the pagan community, one of the witches, was talking about their book and that their book was on one of them, and they're like, it's not through my publisher. Like they're literally publishing it. They're publishing it illegally.
I've
It's
actually had that too happen with one of my books. They were selling my book for even like 30% markup more, and I'm over here just thinking, but my book doesn't go for $20. It goes for 10 or something like that. And they were like, and I even tried messaging them saying, hey, I'm the original author of that. Can you do me a favor and take that down unless you want to go in front of a judge? Didn't hear a response back though.
yeah, yeah. It's really hard nowadays. I think it's kind of like that's the only thing. Like it's kind of nice. Like there's benefits to AI, and then there's not benefits to AI.
Yep.
And it's the abuse that makes it hard. It's.
Mhm.
So, yeah, always try to buy from the author. That's all I can say, you
Yes, if
know?
you buy from the actual author, like for me, even though I don't print and all that crazy woozy woo. My my Lulu site, where of course is in the bio link, every book that I've written is on there. And in fact, if you do it that way, not through Amazon, I get more of a cut.
Yeah. And see, that also helps too, is when an author can say, hey, if you buy it here, I get more money. Because in some cases, I've heard like different people say, yeah, I only make $1 a book. And you're like, I'm paying $20 for the book and you only get $1 of it?
Yeah,
You know?
it's BS.
Yeah, it really is BS, which is too bad.
hmm especially the Lilith book that I wrote. That thing about 100 pages. Yeah. I mean, now this is the thing I don't get. When I submitted my original transcript and the book cover and all that, or Lulu for global distribution, it it made it postable for Lulu no problem, but for global being distributed, they rejected it saying there's no UPC code label on it. You should look on the back of the book. This is right there. But it has to be one on the inside. Then how are my other two books able to not need that at all? Because it's not in there either.
Yeah.
Typical Neptune energy. Oh, woozy woo BS. Whoops. Not paying attention. Oh well.
Yeah. It's just so hard. I mean, I know like I carry some books on my website. So like when I do in-person events, like you can get some books and I do get them from the publisher, but yeah, I mean like just having like that, like there's not a big markup. So I can't even imagine like how many books, But you look at like somebody like John Grisham, but he's bestseller list, so even if he only gets $1 a book, when he's selling millions of dollars,
Yeah.
that's why he can do it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yes, but try to support local. I always throw out support local witchcraft stores, pagan stores, metaphysics stores, and when you're purchasing your books, try to get them from the author or ask the author specifically, where do you recommend I get it? Because if you can get it from somebody who's buying from the publisher, they're going to make sure to get a fair cut. Versus I've seen some books on Amazon marked down so much, one book I had bought and I'd sold a couple. I didn't make very much money, and Amazon started selling it for less money than I could get it for wholesale. And I was like, oh, it's going to put small companies out. So try to support the small metaphysical shops. That's really super helpful for everybody. That's also giving us that water energy too.
Yeah, because there's one thing for certain, and I put my two books of Lilith and Hell up, and they're distributed all over the world and on Amazon. As soon as they were approved, immediately I began watching them. Okay, Amazon, are you doing what you're supposed to be doing with my books? If you're not, you're gonna wish you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a price cap. Because
it makes it hard. It really does make it hard because I've started a couple and I'm like, it's kind of scary. And then you've got which publisher and
yeah, mine are self-published. Because I tried going towards Llewellyn with my Lilith Oracle and my Lilith Tarot. No response. So it's like, okay, well, gee. So you can publish all these other tarot decks that are kind of okay. I'm not saying a word.
Yeah. Well, and who I don't know. It is hard to get into publishers. That I do know, because I do have some friends that publishers have picked them up, but I have some friends that are self-published, and everybody who's they're like, it is so hard to get in. And a couple people I know that Llewellyn has picked them up. Their first few books actually were self-published before Llewellyn picked them up. So, that's a whole new, it would be really interesting to hear all the different authors, but you do have to have the down low, if you are with a publisher.
Yeah. I know a friend of mine, she has, 1, 2, 3, I think she has 4 to 5 books published, and her first one, I still remember it, something working with the tarot, but when she published that first one, her next one came out, then her next one came out. It actually they came out really fast, but it took her a while to get the first one to even be published. And I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Dang it, Neptune! Why you got to do this?
Can I blame that on Neptune? Because I have been so forgetful all day, and I'm like, what is going on?
Neptune, why are you making us all tipsy? Yeah, you're talking about me. Just don't stop thinking.
So actually, speaking about books, did I take it upstairs? I think I took it upstairs. Oh no, there it is. Sorry, I did put it on the bottom shelf. I try to put it on the bottom shelf so it's easier to grab. This Sunday is our second to last chapter of Anatomy of the Witch. We're doing the chapter 7, the crown chakra. So we're doing our crown chakra on Sunday. So I am live on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be deep diving into our crown chakra on Sunday. So please feel free to join. If you are reading the book, I'll hold it up again. You can jump on the panel, and we have great discussions on it. Anatomy of the Spirit is Carolyn Miss. It's her 7 stages of power and healing. So hopefully that is helping everybody that's joining. And of course, I do post the replays on my YouTube and my Patreon. So you can check out those replays if you have missed them, so you can actually kind of hear the discussion on the whole book, because they are broken down chapter by chapter. So that's always fun. So, wow, we were fast tonight because I'm like, plus we don't have Ezreal up either. So we have like small panel. So that also makes things go a lot faster. Well, anything else, Bren, you want to add tonight?
I really can't think of much of anything else about Neptune. It being
Yeah.
so evasive and woozy wooey.
Yeah, I can't either. Well, then with that, I'll let you say your goodbye and tell people how they can follow you and find you.
Well, of course, I have my own page. The link tree is in the bio. I'm currently working on my next book, which is, of course, my background right now. It's a work in progress. It's not out yet. And other than that, I can't think of anything else. So, as however the heck that song goes, so long, farewell, toodaloo.
Yep, we need to learn the song. I should know it. I used to watch that Sound of Music all the time. But as always, Tuesdays are Tuesday Tarot. Next week, we're doing Pluto on Thursday, which is spiritual topic. After that, I kind of have a couple ideas, so I'll throw one out for the following week. And then we're doing Anatomy of the Spirit. We're second to the last week of that. So our second to the last chapter in that book at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here. So make sure that you are following both Bren and I. And thank you so much, everybody, for the gifts and for all of the hearts tonight. And as always, have a wonderful evening. Merry meet, merry part, bright blessings, and namaste.